So you will never you will never get true accountability or a just system in this world. See right above me? Fallen world. Man refuses to see that. Okay? They refuse to see it. I know I brought this up. It's just, and again, it's not something people want to hear. But your free will got you into the fallen world. Every government, every country, from here all the way to the other end of the earth, okay, has all created governments, kingdoms, systems in the fallen world. Can you understand how idiotic that is? Do you understand how idiotic that is? It's absolutely idiotic. It's idiotic in every way. In the Old Testament, before Jesus, you can understand to a certain extent. However, when Jesus came as the blueprint of follow me, do what I do, what did he do? He surrendered. He surrendered even down to his life, giving it to God. So again, I know I say this, but it's so important because people, long before I was born to people long after I'm gone, will continue to do this, that no, we'll create it, we can do it. God gave us dominion. No, when you exercised your free will to do what God didn't want you to do, you got put in the fallen world. So you split your dominion. Man split his dominion with the wicked one. Understand that. So when Jesus came and he stood, during his trial and said, if this was my world, if this was my kingdom, he said, if this was my kingdom, if this was my kingdom, if this was my kingdom, if this was my kingdom. And then what did he go on to show you he did? In this kingdom, in the fallen world, he surrendered to God. So everybody from the church to mankind has gone on to tell themselves, no, we've surrendered to God and God wants us now to set up the kingdom. No, he wants you to stop setting it up. This isn't me going after Trump, by the way, okay? Because Trump represents something I don't understand entirely, okay? I don't. God gives me a lot, but I don't understand. I get confused with that. But he's not like some antichrist or something. I mean, people are so lost they don't realize they've been living under. You've been under the beast regardless, okay? Because you're in the fallen world. God never, and here's the confusing part again, is man thinks God wants you, he gave you dominion over the land. Right, and you are still continuing to split that dominion with the Prince of Darkness. Which is why God continues to let the Prince of Darkness call the shots. Because it's his kingdom. But I think that even, from the Protestants to everybody, and not that any of them are bad, it's just people aren't truly understanding, which is why I think only the recovering alcoholics understand this, is because it took absolute surrender. It took defeat for us to realize that surrender was the key all along. But this kingdom says never surrender. It's one of the greatest tricks the wicked one uses. You got to give him credit. Okay, I mean, really, he's convinced everyone of that. But Jesus came and showed no surrender. Because what God has been waiting for forever is for man to exercise their free will into surrendering. Not to the government, not to God. Surrender to God. Now, then man will run around and say, no, God puts these people because of what Paul said. Again, Paul will be used as a stumbling block. Some of Paul's writings will be definitely used as a stumbling block. Again, because never, ever were you to have a divided loyalty. But man wants it their way. Because again, man doesn't know what it looks like. Man doesn't stop to think. You don't. And people get scared and we can't just surrender. We can't just, no, that's what you need. That is literally what Jesus did. There is only one kingdom that can bring true accountability and true justice, and it doesn't take years. Like, that's what I hear all the time too. Well, it'll take years to build a case and this, and you need it to be airtight. Yeah, well, God created everything in 6 days, so his world works a lot faster. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? Even if you did get people, even if people could hear what I'm saying, and even more started doing it, what the wicked one of this world would do, that prince of the air, what it would do is it would start holding some of those people accountable that you've wanted, to give you the illusion that, no, see, we're creating God's kingdom. God doesn't need man to create his kingdom. He wanted you to have dominion over the land in his kingdom. But he created that whole kingdom without you. So that's the reason why we just, our human condition is to continue to allow technology and everything else except ourselves to advance. Yeah, you're going to have people tell you we're going to cure cancer, we're going to do this, we're going to fix the food pyramid, we're going to fix this party's going to fix it, this system's going to fix it, the Supreme Court will have new people and fix it. No, none of them can, none of them realize. No, you're in the fallen world. What don't you understand? So as long as you keep trying to create your systems, create your kingdoms, God's just like, okay, go ahead, Satan. Keep, it's your world. They still are picking your world, while they trick themselves and tell themselves, no, this is what we're working for. Okay, but to get this, you have to surrender. I mean, you have no way around it. That's what Jesus showed. You have no way around it. But you can't get man to do it. That's really, I guess, what mankind should see about themselves. Men and women, when I say mankind, that's what you need to see, is that you don't want to exercise your free will and surrender. It's the very thing that was the problem from the beginning. So exercising your free will and going against God got you thrown out of here and got you put here. And then since that time, man continues to exercise free will and say, we're going to do it differently. We're going to get a different party. We're going to get a different system. We're going to get new people. It's like, and again, the fact is, even if people recognized what I was saying, the wicked one would quickly start holding some of the people accountable just to pull you back in. You have to just surrender to God and stop picking a kingdom in this world, because Jesus showed, look what I'm doing, do what I'm doing. I've completely surrendered totally. All the experts can come up with all the ideas they want about the human condition. Ultimately, the problem with the human condition is free will. And God doesn't want to take your free will away, but he'll continue to let you lose your freedoms, because you will. If you can't see the fact that it's your free will that is the very problem. I've said before, I think that's why eventually God has to force it. And I think in many ways he's trying to force people to see that, there's a reason Jesus said, if this was my kingdom. And what did Jesus do since it wasn't God's kingdom? Well, he surrendered and said, I don't want anything to do with this kingdom.